Hello everyone, this is Alberto from the London Contemporary School of Piano. I'm sure many of you are, like me, fan of rock and popular music. Problem is that we are pianists, and all considered, the piano doesn't feature so much, or at least as much as does drums, guitar, and bass in rock. So today I'm gonna show you how to turn a great pop rock tune into a piano arrangement. And if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, head to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, and request for a free resources kit. It will include materials featured from our YouTube tutorials, including this one. In the past, I have done this kind of piano arrangements on a variety of songs, some more successful, some less. Recently, I have recorded, for example, the famous Roxanne by The Police, perfectly for our case because there is no piano there. So what to do when we love a rock song, we enjoy the idea of playing at the piano, but we don't know where to start. I would say two necessary things need to happen. First is that we're gonna need familiarity with the song. In a sense, I think we're gonna have to know the song a bit inside out. And by knowing the song, I mean chords, rhythm, melody, coordination, the groove, these kind of things. Not necessarily you don't have to be a master on it, but you have to feel very comfortable with the song. So the chord structure of the song Roxanne is pretty straightforward. Is in the key of G minor, and it goes G minor, then D minor, then E flat, then D minor again, then C minor, F, and then a G, particular G with a 4. So this is the opening of the verse. We can say that obviously these chords don't tell about the song Roxanne yet, because if we play the tune Roxanne on the radio, we can hear very strong, fast, powerful rhythm. What kind of rhythm that is? Well, that's a tango. It's a bit surprising to learn that, but it's actually true. The guitar rhythm is pretty fast tango. Huh? That's more like it. The rhythm of tango is completely, I would say almost completely foreign to rock music. I would say, I said this is a fast tango because of course tango is probably generally played slightly slower. Etc. You can tell you're probably very familiar with it. Now, a couple of features from the groove of Roxanne are the role of the bass player. The bass player in this song, Sting himself, he is not following clearly on the downbeat, like this. He's not. He's interacting in a bit of a syncopated way. That's already something that will pose a bit of a coordination issue for some of us. But it's a crucial detail into nailing the groove of the song. Then, next step, we have the melodic part, the voice. Sting's voice is very flamboyant, I would say. Is very unpredictable. So it might be really tricky to put together melody and chords. Okay, so you can tell that melody is not really easy and simple and straightforward to put together with the straight rhythm. Nevertheless, it's worth learning. I remember I learned together with the recording just the vocal part, trying to follow exactly what Sting is doing. It's quite tricky, especially with such a talented singer like Sting. It is a great delight for me to work at the school and help students such as yourself transform their playing. So go to our website and you can ask about booking a class, or perhaps you want to leave us an inquiry and tell us a bit about yourself. It will be great to meet next time in front of a piano. Okay, so let's say that these are the general guidelines to fundamentally replicate the song Roxanne. This is quite an important step, but what do we want is to create our own arrangement. I cannot tell you how you will create your own arrangement. I can tell you how I created my own and what things I used to that stage. And so here comes the first was you must have comfort and familiarity with the song itself. You must know it reasonably well. And the second step will be you need to have some independence and be creative into piano forms, piano patterns, piano techniques that you feel they can be used in this context. Take, for example, the famous Alberti bass. Right? This is just a way to harmonize a C major chord, and I'm gonna use it to harmonize, to accompany the song Roxanne. This is already starts sounding completely different, but the harmonic structure is the same, and believe me, the moment I add the melody on top of it, you will be able to tell exactly that is Roxanne. Notice a couple of things that happen. I slow down a little bit. The tango groove is completely gone. The strong, powerful rhythm that was characterizing the original song now is gone. Now it's more of a ambient, very soft atmosphere created just by the left hand. Pedal, of course. Also, you might have noticed that the chords have transformed a bit. I'm adding maybe a seventh, for example, on the E flat, or the D minor. Here's a 7, C minor, 7 as well. That's already quite a big step. The very powerful outburst of passion that these songs inspire, that this song triggers when we listen to it, is now all, let's say, gone. We are left with what, for me, I would say, is fundamentally melancholy, nostalgia, sadness. One extra step I took in my arrangement of Roxanne. You remember earlier when I said that the bass player doesn't play the downbeats of the chords, but somehow plays syncopated notes against it, creating, a bit of a sense of, instability and fracture and fragmentation. I wanted to keep that feel, but somehow use it in this left hand. So what I did was move the Alberti bass that I created, move it a little bit in advance, so that instead of that, it will become that makes things a bit odd, because one will tend to follow the bass line as the beginning of our bar, while in this case the downbeat of the bar is the top D. If I play it a little bit faster, as I did in my recording, If you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, head to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, and request for a free resources kit. It will include materials featured from our YouTube tutorials, including this one. I really enjoy this idea of out of phase. To me, this speaks, it expresses a sense of detachment and fracture in the melody, in the harmony. So it took me a while to be able to improvise and put together the melody in this manner, but to me, it just expresses that. You see how effectively I've been just using an Alberti bass and a simple right hand, not simple, but a right hand melody. Also, I'm gonna say something about the chorus, which is, we know this, Roxanne, Roxanne, Roxanne. The chorus is tricky because you got the band singing Roxanne, and then you got Sting adding his comments. So I started putting together this in one hand, and might be tricky, but you can hear both really clearly. Now let's put this right hand part together with a downbeat bass type of arpeggio and accompaniment. That's not bad. But I wanted a bit more for my accompaniment. And so, you remember earlier when I said move the accompaniment a bit out of phase? So the accompaniment now will be 3, 4. That's nice. I really like this way. Notice how the bass part keeps coming in slightly earlier. 3, 4. That's once again coming from that earlier syncopation that I was pointing out that happens in the verse. The result. Okay, this is the way I treated Roxanne. You can find it online. You can find it on YouTube as well, a live version of it. So let's move on to another song, another favorite of mine. I'm sure you're all fans of Elton John. Elton John in the 70s wrote this magnificent song called Rocket Man. And I love this song for one particular reason. And after I played it for some time in its usual way, after I learned it a bit, I slowly identify what is it about this song that make it so dear to me. And I think it's this sense of openness and suspension. He's talking about a man in outer space, and our imagination goes into open spaces, complete suspension. Time doesn't flow at the same pace. And I thought, would it be possible at the piano to maybe forget about all of the instruments and the great arrangement that Elton John has done, but try to focus on this particular feel? How would I be able at the piano to express that? And came to mind that perhaps a single repeated note, perhaps ticking a virtual clock, will come to help. I really like this idea, and I've stripped away all the big chords and the drums fill and even maybe the orchestra behind it, and I kept my focus on that note. What happens to the harmony though, because that is one note? Well, I chose a note that happens to be common throughout all the chords, almost all the chords in this chord sequence. So we have a G minor, we have a C7, we have an E flat, B flat, C minor, and B flat again. Finally, we have a F, which doesn't have the B flat, but I add it anyway because I am me. Now, given that this note is common between all these chords, how about finding just another note that clears where the harmony is? G. Now the next chord is C7 and I want an E natural. A bit of a dissonance and back again. Okay, that's the idea. Now put it all together. Finally, the cherry on top of the cake. The chorus. Notice that the chorus still has that clock ticking. So I can still take advantage. Now my chords in the left hand are more full, but they all shaped to serve this. Even the C. Now, as the song has entered its full flow, has entered its chorus, I like to add a bit of sound, a bit of energy, and not just stay in this suspended feel. That's why my right hand interacts a bit more. There is more happening in the right hand. How about 2 notes at the time? Is how my thumb is at this stage is working on the notes F and G when the melody is on the rest of the fingers. In this case, you heard this high note. Well, this is my second note. The melody is here, and I have. It's quite a cool trick to always have an extra finger, either the pinky or the thumb, able to do one extra note harmonic, so-called harmonic filling. Okay. Now I arrived at this chorus and I feel the song is exploding, is liberating itself. There is a lot of energy happening and I'm trying to take advantage of it. How to do it? Well, the way I've done it, the way I felt it, is that this chord sequence and this low feel fits perfectly what I would call a modern gospel-y blues. And this is where I can improvise a bit more. Let's remember it's just a few chords, so just a 1 and a 4. It's best if I stop, otherwise I'm gonna go on for another hour. Clearly, I know something about how to play the blues. I can use that information, that style, that skill, to merge it with the feel and the harmony of this tune. Remember, there are two things that we kind of have to master. Knowing the song really well and have musical skills maybe that we have learned from a different place, from a different trajectory. I find that throughout the years, it's really fun and it's really creative to merge styles and ideas from different worlds. You see, in the first tune that I looked at, Roxanne, I mixed a rock tune with a very typical Alberti bass accompaniment, which is a classical keyboard style thing. And here I merged it with the blues. In Rocket Man, I picked up my blues style and I informed Elton John's songs with it. So the question is, which songs are you gonna develop and what are you gonna inform it with? It is a great delight for me to work at the school and help students such as yourself transform their playing. So go to our website and you can ask about booking a class, or perhaps you want to leave us an inquiry and tell us a bit about yourself.